Mr. Connolly of Virginia.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and you and Mr. Shavit are my friends, but to listen to both of you, you'd never know Donald Trump's in the White House. Apparently, everything going on in the Middle East is the fault of somebody else whose name is not Donald Trump. You'd never know that Donald Trump is under investigation and his campaign is under investigation because of his ties and their ties to Russia. You'd never know Russia hacked into our election campaign, verified by all of our intelligence community. You'd never know that Donald Trump boasted of firing the FBI director because of the Russia thing with the Russian foreign minister. You'd never know that it was Donald Trump that praised Vladimir Putin as a strong man and liked the fact that Putin had said nice things about him. Could that be enabling behavior? I think so. And I think that's the 800-pound gorilla in the room we need to be talking about. So you can pretend all you want that it's all Obama's fault, but we got a real-life problem right now in real time in this White House, and that's the Donald Trump presidency.
Thank you, Mr. Connolly. An enabler. Mr. Rohrabacher is recognized.
4 days ago was the 30th anniversary of President Reagan going to Berlin and saying, "Tear down the wall." While having been a senior speechwriter for President Reagan for 7.5 years, I had a chance to have some input, but I did not write that speech. However, I was the one who smuggled that speech to President Reagan so that the senior staff wouldn't take it out before he had a chance to see it. And once he did see it, he withstood enormous pressure to go there and speak the truth. Ronald Reagan then led this country to peace with the Soviet Union. Ronald Reagan believed in peace through strength, but let's make it very clear, he believed in peace. And he was the one who brought whatever good chance we have to have peace in that part of the world. He's the one who made it happen. And I will tell you that what we have right now, and I'm afraid I disagree with all of my colleagues, what we hear now is war talk, something that will only lead to war, and it's not leading to treating Russia as a power that we need to negotiate with, as Reagan did for the cause of peace. I will tell you right now that I called up Condoleezza Rice early on when I heard that that their economy was in such a free fall because the West isolated Russia economically after communism fell. They needed to put their scientists to work. They made an agreement with Iran. And I said, this is horrible, but they've got to do it because they got to make the money. And I said to Condi, I said, look, let's offer them a deal. They can make 2 nuclear power plants in Australia or New Zealand. We'll get it financed by the World Bank. It won't cost a penny, and then they won't have this horrible country, Iran, mullah regime, with nuclear weapons 20 years from now. And you know what she said? She said, that's never going to happen, Dana. Well, I'll tell you this much. We have people who can't get over the Cold War, and they're pushing us towards policies of antagonism and repeated, unrelenting hostility that will lead us to war. Ronald Reagan wanted peace in this world, and so do I. This is not the way to a more peaceful world or even a freer world.
Thank you, Mr. Rohrabacher.